We're live on the Woodland Park Underground. You're here with Michael, the Underground Dalton. I'm running for city council, and I'd like your vote. So last night we had the Greater Woodland Park Chamber candidate forum. This morning, I've had at least 10 messages, either text messages or calls with people around the city. I had one call with a senior lady. She was so happy she came. She was so happy to hear a refreshing new prospect for council. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. I always don't know how I'm going to go over. I came tattoos and all last night because I was in short sleeves. I never know how I'm going to go over with the senior citizens here in Woodland Park, but from what I can see, I have a lot of support in that community, and I'm excited about that. Last night's forum, I got to tell you, one, it was a biased forum. Bottom line, if you weren't there, you can see the bias that happens whenever they fix the video. By the way, the Chamber of Commerce took down the video because I don't think they want me looking so good. But I don't know where you can watch the video of it yet. I'm trying to find out. I've emailed the city. So if you've contacted me asking about where the video is, all I can tell you is the Chamber of Commerce took it down off their website. It's not working. So I don't know where it's at. They hid it. They don't want you to see the underground. So it was a biased forum because it was hosted by a biased moderator. Carol Harvey quit city council. She didn't finish her term. She tried to make up some story about an email. Somebody said they were going to shoot her dog with a bow and arrow. Listen, if you're going to run for politics, you're going to get a couple of crazy emails. You're going to get a couple of death threats. You're going to get a couple of family threats. They're going to threaten your job. They're going to threaten your life. They're going to threaten. This is how dirty people work. If you ain't got the cojones, don't run for council. That's all I can say. And so Carol Harvey quit council, and then they had her moderate it. So it's like Hillary Clinton losing the election and then moderating between like Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Nevertheless, it was a biased council, but I still shined. People told me, Michael, you're going to make a great council member. They asked me one question: what happens if you don't get elected? Well, first of all, have you seen the jokers I'm running against? I'm getting elected. I told someone today, I think I'm going to get myself elected, and it scares me. And people are like, why do you say that? Because it scares me. Like, I am about to put myself out in front of for my entire town. Like, no longer am I just going to put myself out on social media. I'm putting myself out there for the public to, one, scrutinize, and two, I want to do something for these people. I want to do something for the city of Woodland Park, and there's a fear of failure. So we're going to try our best. I have a feeling I'm getting elected. I'm scared. If I don't get elected, I'm still going to be here. But that was the question. If you don't get elected, what are you going to do? I'm going to do the same thing I've been doing for 5 years, promoting, trying to get these old folks to when I say old folks, I'm talking about the good old boys on council, these guys that don't know what they wouldn't even be able to tell you. They want to talk about chat rooms, and I got television stations. They want to talk about forums that they started back when they were in the IT business, and I'm like, I got a television station in my phone. Yesterday I had 100,000 people around the world watching another channel. So when people tell me like they want to talk about the old technologies, I'm like, every one of our council members has a telephone or a television in their phone. But worse than that, every one of our citizens has a television in our phone. We have to think differently. We have to start thinking differently if we are going to look into the future of what Woodland Park can be. See, they want to talk about what Woodland Park was. They want to go back to the good old days when horse and carriage ran through Ute Pass. And by God, I wish I lived that day. I wish there's an old song that is, what if I had been born 100 years ago? Would I have made it back then with the outlaws and the strong arm of the law? Well, the strong arm of the law is still around, and I'm still here. So They want to talk about the past of Woodland Park. They don't want to bring the future. They want to talk about the debt of Woodland Park. We are in debt and we got to get out of debt, but we're not going to get out of debt by freezing payments and by canceling taxes that our people have voted on for our schools. I asked somebody if I was too passionate last night. I was like, did I keep my passion under control? I don't have to keep it under control here. This is my channel. This is my place. I can let my passion roll. But I was like, I got to keep my passion under control up there with a bunch of freaking people that you couldn't get passionate about anything. But spreadsheet, they get some passion about a spreadsheet. I never seen so many people get a hard on for a spreadsheet than the men sitting around me and the women. She didn't get a hard on them. Listen, last night, did it get me any votes? Absolutely. Absolutely. I gained votes last night. Hands down, there ain't a chance in the world I didn't get someone to vote for me last night. Shout out to the preacher in the house. I saw you. I know you saw me. We gave each other the nod. By God, it made me excited to see you there, man. It made me excited to see you there. I was so happy you were there. A lot of different people in the house. Saw some people that have served on the deer committee there. I saw some people that I regularly see at council members. I saw the good old boys. The DDA took a slashing last night. I started that battle and I'll finish it. If you vote me on council, I can all but guarantee we will start to dissolve the DDA. You know them politicians that give the guarantees, right? I can't guarantee it, but I am going to do everything in my power to begin to dissolve the DDA. Whether it happens in the 4 years I'm there or we head in that direction, we are going that way. And I'd love to say I can guarantee, but I can't. But what I can tell you is if you ask me what I'm going to do for this town, I'm going to say I'm going to make it more attractive for businesses. And I'm going to start by getting the DDA dissolved. The DDA is not an attractant for businesses. So I don't care who you've been talking to. I don't care who's been lying to you. It is a debt hole. The guy next to me that I don't even like, Jim, he said it's a fraud. He said the TIF is a fraud. And I'm like, I don't like this guy. I really don't want to serve on council with this guy. But I agree with that. Hey, so if he makes it on council, there's one thing me and Jim agree with, and that is let's get rid of the DDA. Kelly Case, she's already on council. Whether she wins mayor or not, she's still going to be voting on it. And she said, I have to agree with Mr. Dalton over there. Holy crap, that's 2. No Sawyer said it 2. That's 3. Who else? I don't know who else. But we got 3. 4. Oh, that's 4. If Jim made it, we got 4. I think Don's down. I think Don's down to bring some business here. So I think Don's down. But I'm not 100%. I can't remember what Robert said, but get rid of the DDA. They took a beating last night. Oh, what else? Let's see. Oh, we got asked. Oh, wow. One of the most stupidest questions by one of the fake media. I didn't call him this. I wanted to respond like this. I wanted to pull a Donald Trump, but people, I have some people in this community that I respect their opinions. And they have told me that sometimes I get a little passionate and it can sound like a loose cannon. I'm okay with the loose cannon, on social media, but you don't want to sound like a loose cannon in the public and stuff. And so I had to rein my passion in a little bit. But when I was asked this question, I first of all thought it was a dumb question. Some people thought it was a smart question. I thought it was an idiot question, but I answered it in my political toned down manner. I ain't going to do that right now. I'm going to give you all the real underground scoop. So the fake media, TMJ, asked All of you men and women are men and women of faith. You are all presumably Christians from your bios or from what we know about you. Being on council, if Planned Parenthood wanted to open a facility in Woodland Park, could you set your faith beliefs aside and be nonpartisan if they have fulfilled all the regulations, rules, requirements to open a Planned Parenthood in Woodland Park? Would you vote for it? Don said he would recuse himself, and I respect that. Kelly Case said she would vote yes if they had had all the requirements. Everyone else said that they would vote legal, but they are very, 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 very pro-life. And it's fundamental. Jim went on for a couple minutes. Everybody talked about, every other man up there said we were pro-life, this, that, and the other. I said, you know, could you set your faith aside? If you ask me to set my faith aside, I have to answer honestly and say no. My faith is is the very makeup of who I am and the decisions I make. So if someone says, oh, we elect Michael counsel based on this, that, and the other, but you got to set your faith aside at the door. The separation of church and state is such an overused term, but if you're asking me to set my faith aside in my decision-making process, it's not that I'm going to be like, what would Jesus do in this situation? I'm not going to ask that question but every decision I make is shaped by the man I am and by my faith. So I kind of answer that because this is a hypothetical question. But my real answer wanted to be, hey, fake media, listen, this town almost had a war over a swimming pool. This town almost had a war over a tiny home village. This town almost had a war when they wanted to kill deer. You think this town's going to allow a Planned Parenthood to come in here without a World War II? Sit back and watch, son. And if this question ever came up, if it ever came up in the 4-year term that I was here, I would say this. I don't want to play war with the Christians because they will decapitate you in the name of God and walk high and mighty. So if you're asking me if a Planned Parenthood ever came to Woodland Park, which side of the battle I would be on, I would be on the battle side of the people. So whatever the people wanted to do to Planned Parenthood, I would facilitate. That's my honest answer. That's my non-political, non-public social media answer. What kind of dumb fake news media question is it, the TMJ, if a Planned Parenthood wanted to come to Woodland Park? I don't know. Why don't you ask Hartzell? Maybe too soon. Maybe that was too soon. Too soon. They got that guy though. The guy that shot up the Planned Parenthood in Colorado Springs was from Hartzell. If you want to bring Planned Parenthood, if you want to come to Woodland Park, I'm going to advise you as a future city council member, that's a bad idea. That's a bad idea. All right, Planned Parenthood, you got whatever legal right you have as a private entity, as a facility, as whatever you want to see. This was a loaded question about women's rights by a fake media. And nobody played into the women's rights fake media question other than to say, listen, this is a bad idea. If Planned Parenthood comes here, as 7 people up here tell you, hey, you know, we would like to give you some counsel as city council. And I would have to say that the city council could stand up there and say, hey, we kind of know our people, and we think this is a bad idea if you ever want to bring a Planned Parenthood to Woodland Park. But we gave some political answer. Everybody was like, we'll keep it legal. It's a nonpartisan thing, whatever. Listen, I'm not going to try to tell private businesses what to do. But as a city council member, if I don't have the right to at least give counsel to business people who are coming up here, and if you're going to try to start a strip joint, which you can't do, by the way, legally, you can't start a strip joint in Woodland Park. And I'm like, how can you not start a strip joint, but you could start a Planned Parenthood? And they're like, well, we could put an ordinance in that you couldn't have an abortion clinic. And so I'm like, oh, well, maybe we need to put that in our ordinances and put it to a city vote. I don't know. But because if somebody has some inside info that a Planned Parenthood's coming to town, I just don't want to stand between, because the fake media, TMJ, asked this question. And so, yeah, it's such a ridiculous question. Now, other people thought it was a good question to see if they could trap some people. They may have trapped me on social media. They didn't trap me last night, and I don't even know if they've trapped me now on social media. But that fake media TMJ is what I wanted to call them. I restrained my passion a little bit. I pulled my Donald Trump out or back a little bit, and I didn't call them fake media. Now, the Courier, on the other hand, asked a very, very, very good question. What can council do to help our schools? Everybody gave the political answer of, well, council doesn't really affect the schools. Council doesn't, but it does affect the schools. It affects the 1 point something tax thing. It affects on voting for different stuff. And it affects a relationship. And we need a good relationship with our superintendent. I have it on pretty good knowledge that we have a pretty good superintendent at the school. I haven't met him. I may have met him once or twice and didn't know I met him. I haven't sat down and talked to him, but I think I'm going to get a freaking meeting with him this week, or I'm going to try to get a meeting with him, and go just meet with him. But I have it on pretty good authority that we have a pretty good superintendent, and I have it on pretty good authority. We got some pretty good teachers in this town. And I got it on pretty good authority that we have some facilities in this town that other places don't have for high school. We got swim facility. We got other things that can happen. But we have a terrible story being told about our schools. And we got to change that story. You can't, even if we don't have the best schools yet, we got to tell the story that we got the best schools, or we're never going to get there. You can't get to the best schools in the state if you don't ever say, we got the best schools in the state. So Woodland Park needs to begin to change its story about its schools. For whatever reason, we got a bad rap, and we can address those reasons over time. But we have to begin to change the story of the school as well as the story of the town. This town is a great place to live. It is a great place to do business. You can say whatever you want, but I can tell you business success after business success after business success with good business people. So we need to attract good business people. I watched with my own eyes Cafe Leo birth, grow, and sale. That's a good business. It birthed, it was profitable, and the couple who started it was ready to move on, and they sold it to another great couple who's doing great things with Cafe Leo. I have watched with my own eyes a sushi place come to 8,500. When people said, why the hell is a sushi place coming to 8,500? I have watched Fusion Japan birth, grow, and explode. I have helped them with promotions. I have done videos. We have told their story. And those ladies are opening another restaurant in this town, and I am excited about it, because when good business people do business in Woodland Park, they flourish, and the business is good in Woodland Park. This is the story we have to begin to tell about Woodland Park, or we'll continue to go down this road where these non-visionaries will bury us in a grave of ghost towns in Colorado. I got a little passionate. You can be upset about me. I didn't say all of that, but I said a little bit of that. I'm telling you now, when it comes to Woodland Park, when it comes to our schools, we have to have vision for them. That doesn't mean we micromanage them. That doesn't mean we try to overtake the school board. We don't fight with the school board. We have to work with them. Money doesn't solve everything, but it helps. And we have some things in place that are helping our school. And there are people that are running for city council that had the audacity to sit up there and say, everybody's asking what we can do for our school, but what can our school do for us? We need to shut down an elementary. A guy up there said that. We need to shut down an elementary. The guy sitting right to my right. I was like, bro, you just gave me some votes. Thank you. But you don't know nothing about this town. You know zero about this town. You got a lot of teachers that live in this town. You got a lot of parents who send their kids to Woodland Park. There's some smart-ass people at Woodland. Okay, I'm going to tie myself to the community a little bit. There's a couple that lives down the street from me that I've known for 35 years. The guy that lived down the street from me was one time my youth pastor. He lives down the street from me in Woodland Park. He's been in Woodland Park a long time, been in Teller County a long time. One of the reasons why we moved here, his kids go to Woodland Park High School. His son was just voted Mr. Panther in a fundraiser the school did. I'm not going to drop names. I don't need to drop names. People know who I'm talking about. His son teaches my son guitar lessons. We got some great, talented students at Woodland Park High School that will succeed in life. They will flourish in life. They come out of Woodland Park High School. Great people will come out of our schools because we have great schools. Got to change the damn story. I'll be getting a little bit. I'm getting a little bit fired up, passionate. I ain't going to apologize on my channel. I kept my passion under control at the Greater Woodland Park Chamber of Commerce Candidate Forum. But by God, we need some passionate people on council. And right now, we got a bunch of pencil pushers saying the same old. Cut taxes, cut taxes, cut taxes. Watch the budget. I understand, folks. Money is tight. I'm a father of 3, family of 5, living in the mountains, surviving on beans and rice. If you have to. Money's tight. I understand, Woodland Park. We've had some poor decision makers in our past. All right? We've had some dudes that put us in debt. We've had some evil clubs putting us in debt. The DDA got slashed last night. Did I already tell y'all that? The DDA got their head. If we could have voted last night with the people up on the dais, we could have voted the DDA down last night. We're going to get the money. We're going to bring the business. We're going to repaint the story of what Woodland Park will and can be. I just need 1 vote. I don't need 100. I don't need you to vote all 3 of your spots for me. I just need 1 vote. If you'll vote Michael, the underground Dalton for council, I promise to keep my passion under check in public. But at those executive sessions, hammer down, baby. Hammer down. They ask, I've had council members ask me. I promise you, I've had council members ask me, Michael, if you get voted on council, Would you be the liaison? Would you accept the liaison to the DDA? Hashtag call me, baby. I'll walk into that meeting as the liaison from city council, every meeting saying your days are numbered. Get your resumes in order. Whatever I can do. What else did they ask us about last night? What else was a fiery hot subject? The roads, bypass, all these things we can address. These are all things that make us more attractive to business. Yes, yes, and yes. We got to start talking a bypass now if my grandchildren are going to see a bypass in Woodland Park. I know that doesn't mean much for you now. But if you want to raise your grandkids here and not be cussing about the traffic, we got to start talking about that now. Young families that are moving here, the voting families that are moving here, we got to start talking about what Woodland Park's going to look like for our grandchildren, because that's really the only change we can make. We got to start making changes now. We got to have conversations now. We got to go to CDOT now. Can't be talking about it in 10 years. We can't be putting it off. And unfortunately, sometimes when you start talking about this stuff, you start doing plans, you start doing, not fundraisers, but when you start looking for ways to get money from the state, we got to spend some money. So we're going to have to put some money in the budget for planning for that bypass, because the bypass should have happened 20 years ago, so we would have it today. It didn't. But are we going to stand around and talk about what they should have done 20 years ago? Or are we going to change Woodland Park for the better and the future now? We have to start now. It ain't starting tomorrow. It ain't going to happen tomorrow. Ain't no way we're getting a bypass in the 4 years I'm going to be in council. But we have to start now. It has to be in our comprehensive plan. It has to be talked about. It has to be pushed forward. It has to go before our city employees and tell them, come up with a plan. Give us some options. Tell us what we need to do. We got to put the city people to work. City manager, you want some work? I'm about to bring some work your way, buddy. About to bring some work your way. All right. I'm gonna keep my passion under. Got to keep it down. Got to keep it low. Got to do my woo-saw breathing. Shut the good old boys down. Flourish in schools. Flourish in business. Let's tell a better story. Let's have some vision for Woodland Park. Let the pencil pushers on the table, because there's still going to be pencil pushers. Listen, I tell people all the time, I ain't going to solve the world's problems with a spreadsheet. Some of these dudes up here and women think we can solve the world's problems with a spreadsheet. I'm cool with that. We need some of those spreadsheet people on council. We got some of those spreadsheet people on council. We don't need 6 of them. So if you don't want to vote for a spreadsheet guy, vote for Michael the Underground Dalton.
Yes.
All right. I got visitors probably come to vote for me. I'm out of here. We'll see you guys later. Vote Michael the Underground Dalton, and let's have some fun this next 4 years with seeing where we can take Woodland Park. Talk to you guys later.